Over the last 2 days, Bitcoin has managed to rise up by 16-17%, but I managed to make upwards of 90% profit, and I want to show you exactly how I was able to pull that off step by step. This is going to be a really big video, and I'm taking you right behind the scenes of what my trading looked like. So it's going to be a super serious one. I'm going to tone down the drama for this one. We're going to be doing this just like a standard VIP video, and I want to really break you through and run you through absolutely every little decision that I made, and I'm still in the trade, so we're really still in that hot water right now. Things are still going on, and I'm going to tell you about what I'm feeling like right now as well to really dive super deep. So the way I'm going to be doing this is actually running you through 𝗤𝗙𝗏𝗡𝗧 VIP, and there's a very specific reason that I'm going to be showing you all of this stuff today, and the main reason is because when I'm trading and considering which trades I want to enter and so on and so forth, I like to write down what I'm doing, what my decision-making process looks like, down to all of the finest details. I mean, I really am very particular about this, and all of this gets filtered into a very nicely presented way inside of VIP. This might look intimidating at first, but that is the point of this YouTube video. So we're starting off right here on the 17th of July, Europe time zone. And I originally, on the 17th of July, if we take a look at where Bitcoin was, let's just make sure we're rolling. Yes, we are. If we take a look at where Bitcoin was right here, 17th of July, we were below our key resistance area of 21.7. Okay, so originally my idea was to open a long position if Bitcoin managed to rise above this level, because I was expecting that if we do rise, we'd probably go up very quickly. Of course, if we have a pullback like we did right here, that's fine, because my stop loss was going to be, let's see what this original setup was. My stop loss was going to be at 21.1. Inside of VIP, I'll tell you about what type of trade I want to make, a little bit more information, the exact numbers I'm using, my leverage, my entry, my stop loss, how much of a loss that stop loss is. I'm breaking it all down for you guys, ladies and gents, and then I'm also bullet pointing all of the reasons that I should be in the trade and that I shouldn't. We're going to go through this all, and there is a lot to go through, because this has been a very active trade for me. It's hit more than 90% profit. I think it's going to go a lot harder. It's a very exciting time. If you just want to cut straight to the good part and get yourself inside of this action, you can do that by following these steps on screen right here, and you're getting it for 50% off today. So if you want to be able to join 𝗤𝗙𝗏𝗡𝗧 VIP, see how I've been able to pull these gains and how many of our members inside of VIP have just completely turned their trading around or amped it up if they were already doing well, this is your way to join. And if you're newer to the markets, if you're a little bit more worried about what's actually going on, well, most people who join will be getting free access into our academy courses, where I teach you how to trade from A to Z as well, alongside your VIP membership. So all you got to do to join is follow these steps on screen, and we will get you inside at half price today. So let's move back to Telegram right here and just take a look at these numbers. 21.1 was that potential stop loss area, so my stop loss would have been here. So you can see right off the bat, my original trade idea was actually pretty decent. The original idea that I had right here was that if Bitcoin manages to break above this resistance area, which we knew would be quite a significant area because we were getting rejected here constantly. If you've been subscribed to the channel, you're going to know all about this. My idea was that if we cross above this green line, basically, that we are probably going to go much higher. And if I'm wrong, then this is my invalidation level right here. So we did not reach that invalidation. And if I stuck with that original idea, I would have been completely fine. But I didn't. Here's what I did instead. Bitcoin slid a little lower since I decided to set my momentum long order. A momentum long order means basically if the market is breaking up, I want to trade that momentum. I want to jump in behind that momentum and trade it up. Again, I think it's a good idea. It's one of my more, it's one of my preferred trading setups, but there's something one level better. You see, the idea behind a momentum setup is I don't want the risk of trading down here. I only want to be in the market if we get a confirmed breakout, because then, I think the market is going to move a lot higher, right? That's the kind of idea behind a momentum trade. But the one thing that's better than a momentum trade is getting in on the dip, because if you can lower your entry level and you're trying to buy, it's pretty obvious. If you can buy something for $9 instead of 10, you're going to try and pay 9, right? So we move back to this post right here, and I mentioned that it's a very good sign because it means that I might have a chance to get a much better entry level. So this is where that seed of thought was planted in my head. You see, we got this rejection right here from that 21.7 level, and this planted a seed in my head. Maybe I can get a better entry level. I told VIPs about this straight away, and I mentioned that I want to see Bitcoin slide a little bit lower, down to 21,000. Spoiler alert, this was pretty much exactly my entry level, and I mentioned that I would look to place my stop loss at around 20,300. I'm continuing to watch this, and I will update you as the situation continues to evolve. Okay, same day, bam, look at that. We got the dip, Bitcoin reached my speculative buy zone, but I'm not convinced because the way we got this dump, this is very important. The time frame we're on this chart is 5 minutes. The way we got this dump was we first pumped up very quickly and then we dumped down very quickly. And I specifically highlighted that this looks like the result of high frequency trading bot action. Now, when that happens, I do not want to be in the market. I wrote down that this makes this range very dangerous. Very, very important, right? I'm seeing my opportunity come in, but I didn't take it. Why did I not take it? Because it looks like the result of high frequency trading bot action. So all of this information going straight into VIP, but if you're curious, here's how I would have traded it anyway. I would use 7 times leverage. I would enter at 20,930. I'd place my stop loss at 20.4. And the good thing about this setup is I got to tighten my stop loss a little bit more. You see, before I had a stop loss of minus 22. Over here, I have a stop loss of minus 17. If these kind of differences don't seem attractive to you, then I'm going to tell you point blank right now, you have an extremely, extremely unhealthy perspective on trading, and you need to fix this shit right now because this is going to keep resulting in you getting smacked in the face. I already know you're consistently losing money. If you're not impressed by this drop in the stop loss, this is a 5% reduction in the potential loss that I can face. If that doesn't impress you, if you don't think that that's a better setup, or if it's a priority to do that, that means you have your head in your ass and you need to fix up. You need to you need to go back to the fundamentals and learn about risk management, because you can make money if you think like that, but I promise you, you will always lose it. I've been there. I've seen so many other people go there. I've been running this VIP group for years. Trust me, I've seen all of the typical hallmarks of a bad, irresponsible trader, and one of them is not setting stop losses or not caring enough about them. This is your seatbelt, and you will crash. You will crash. You're trading. You're going to crash. You need a seatbelt. So that's the way I see it. I mentioned that I need to see how this develops for a little bit longer, and the chart arrows indicate what I was talking about. And there we are. A little bit later, a few hours later, you can see how this is around the clock. When the market moves, I'm there, right? I mean, a lot of people ask me about the time zones. Look, I told VIP members that I was interested in this trade right here, and it was about 10 hours later that I entered. So that's a lot of notice. And at each time where I gave this notice, I also told VIP members exactly what numbers I wanted to use, right? Just so that you have all that information and that you know with the information that I'm putting out that time zones are not something you need to worry about, because we do this stuff around the clock. You know, I mean, I'm here when I need to be. So I decided to enter my Bitcoin trade. Bitcoin has formed a nice pair of 4-hour candles. This is what did it for me. I realized that yes, we did have a potentially shaky start to this dump, but look at these candles right here. Look at that wick on this candle. Look at this wick on this candle. Now, understandably, we were only 2 hours in. Anything could have happened to this candle, but at the time, it started to look very convincing that this dip is probably a little bit like this dip, which was probably a little bit like this dip. Let's take a look at the chart, show you what I was talking about. I basically started to think that this dip right here, that's where we are in the chart at the moment. Let's bring this up. We're at this point in the chart. This is it right here. I started to think that this is looking like this, which was looking like this, and this was obviously the low that started us off. So that turned out to be quite a nice little prediction from Sammy right there. And let's move us back to the chart and take a look at what happened. I'm sorry, to Telegram. I mentioned I would have been happy waiting, but I decided instead to take this opportunity at a more desirable price level instead, and this is my favorite part of the whole trade. I've noticed that this would be a good idea after looking over my trading journal. Ladies and gents, if you watch my channel consistently, the one thing that you will always get, if you watch it consistently, if you're staying subscribed and showing up with those likes and all that, you're hopefully going to know, and I always repeat this whenever I can, is that you must always stay a student of the market. I've been doing this for 5 years. I've accumulated a nice level of success for myself. I'm very happy with my life, and I'm still journaling my stuff. You know what I don't understand, and I'm ripping into people today, ladies and gents. If this is you, you're gonna know. If you're trying to trade, if you're putting any level of serious money into this market and you want to make some money, but you're not then backing it up with the effort of writing some words in a journal, you are kidding yourself. You are setting yourself up for failure. When you guys join 𝗪𝗪𝗡𝗧 VIP, you're gonna get a welcome video, and I'm gonna tell you about all the crucial things that you need to be getting right now that you're in. There's no point you paying your entry fee and then just fucking off and doing nothing useful. There are certain ways to use the group, and I outline them to you. And one of the non-negotiable ones that I like, if anyone joins and I find out that they're not trading, that they're not using their trading journal, I'm just not even interested in talking to them. It's straight up that harsh. If you don't want to put that effort in, I don't want to talk to you, right? I mean, you're talking about serious money. If you were using this money in a business, if you were going to develop a house with this money, you would be serious about it. So why don't you apply that same thinking to your trading? You must be using trading journals. And the great thing about this is I was able to criticize myself in my trading journal. One of the things I mentioned earlier is that momentum trades where you enter above the resistance level are good, but what's better is entering lower, right? I would not have been sprung to this decision at all or as quickly if I wasn't keeping a journal. And the thing is, ladies and gents, time is money, okay? If you're missing out on opportunities, you're missing out on making money. And that's a really big cost to be paying in these crypto markets, because this was a very obvious, very healthy trade setup. And that's why I was so confident about it. That's why I kept talking about it. And again, the trading journal helped me identify a better entry level. It's not perfect, right? I mean, it's only about $700 lower. But if you take a look at where I would have entered otherwise, that's about a 3.5% move, okay? And a 3.5% move on 7 times leverage is huge. That's 21% profit. That's 21% profit. If I'm going in with a position size of $10,000, that's an extra 2K, that I make before we're even out of the gate. Right, that's a lot of money. If I'm going in with 100K, that's 20. Now we're starting to talk about, a used car. Like, this is serious money. So by using a trading journal, you can really help yourself maximize those gains and minimize those losses. Very, very important stuff. I've got a whole video on trading journals inside of VIP. Bam, now's your chance. Like I said earlier, and it is half price right now. So let's get yourself in if you've been on the fence for a little while. Later on, I mentioned she's waking up. I'm now in my position. It looks to me that Bitcoin has punched in a new higher low, and I started to point out what I was describing a few minutes ago within this short-term uptrend. Again, I'm still on the bull here. I want to move my stop loss. My stop loss was originally placed at 20.4. I actually didn't calculate the percentage loss there. That's my bad, although it was done in the last post, so it would have been just a little bit more than 17, probably minus 18%. But I wanted to move that stop loss, and so and again, you can see this is around the clock, ladies and gents. If the market's moving, I'm there. Don't worry about that. and you don't need to be, by the way. I mean, I would have been perfectly fine if I just stayed asleep, but this is what I do. I'm a full-time trader, so I don't mind it. I actually quite enjoy this. But I mentioned that I wanted to raise that stop loss to just below our prior low. I haven't done it though. I only mentioned that it would be tempting. There we go. Good morning. The price ended up breaking out very, very nicely. This is the development on the chart, and I moved my stop loss to break even. My position was in a 37% profit, and I closed a very small 3% just to take some profits off the table. And I'm going to continue to watch this. I am totally risk-free. Ladies and gents, it took me roughly 12 hours after entering this trade. I entered the trade right here. Within 12 hours, I was risk-free. I was totally risk-free, and I even took some profits off the table. Again, if these are not things that you aim for as a trader, you have a deluded perspective on being a trader. I hope that that comes across as offensively as it needs to, because you need to fix your shit up. It's totally unacceptable. And this is where I become super harsh, because I've done all these mistakes and I'm not interested. I'm just not interested in seeing them. I gave a little bit of an update on my profit-taking strategy. I'm not going to talk about this. Let's talk about what's next. Here, we started to encounter a little bit of resistance, and there were some question marks here. You know, are we going to be dropping down, or are things going to be getting bad? I wasn't worried about it. I was ready to just stay in my position, stay there for a little bit longer, you know, and see how this is going. So I mentioned that this is absolutely fine. I might seek to widen my stop loss, right? Previously, my stop loss was basically right around here, which is to say if we fell down here and then a lot more, you know, we might still be in a bullish formation. But at that time, I didn't decide to do anything anyway. And I mentioned I'll keep watching this to see how it develops. So you can see that thought process going all the time. Now, I could have just set my orders and walked away and then not looked at Bitcoin again for the next couple of days. I honestly, ladies and gents, I honestly think that that is a better strategy for most people, probably even including me. But at the end of the day, I know my limitations. I get my enjoyment out of this to a certain extent. So I don't want to step away. You know, I want to do this. I want to talk about it. I want to be here and maximize what I can make. You know, so I would have been fine if I stepped away. I already had my stop loss at break even. I literally had nothing to lose. But in any case, I was ready to stick around. A couple updates here that aren't super important. I was talking about Ethereum as well. Very nice movements on Ethereum with our predictions. But right here, this is where it got exciting. I decided to close a little bit more of my position. My stop loss stayed at break even. And this is where we're starting to consolidate again. There's a bit of a question mark about how bullish Bitcoin actually is, especially at the time. You know, I mean, now we can look at this chart and we can say with a lot of confidence that Bitcoin looks strong. But back here, you know, I mean, you just couldn't be that cocky about it. Anyway, we continue to move up, and look at this, guys. We hit this area of resistance right here at 22.7. I was outlining this for you. This was the very bottom of my box, which is on this chart. And so because we ended up hitting this area, I put another post in VIP saying that I've closed a further 5% of my position in this phenomenal 52% profit. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that profit-taking strategy in a little bit, because you're noticing that I'm removing really small amounts right here. I'm actually not taking much profit off, just a little bit. You know, if I close 5% of my position in a 52% gain, that's only going to lock in 5% of plus 52%. Okay, and that number is plus 2.5%. So if I put in $100,000, I'm only locking in 2.5K. You know, so these are very small profit-taking moves here, and this is what I call laddering. You know, I like to sometimes I ladder into positions where I have staggered orders, so that, you know, if I want to buy something at $10, I might have an order at $11.10, another order at $10, another order at $9.80, and, you know, if we and then another down to, you know, $9.60, $9.50, and if the market plunges even lower, I get to average a better entry level, right? Well, it's the same thing with laddering out. I like to ladder out of my I only ladder out of positions, to be honest. It's quite rare that I just, you know, in one sweep just close a trade, you know, and that's just because I want to maximize what I'm getting while still minimizing my risk. So I feel like this is the safest strategy, and again, safety is the most important aspect of being a trader, because if you're not safe, you're just going to keep losing your money. And I don't want to remind you guys constantly, but I think now is the time to point it out that no matter what happens, if you lose, it's always a harder battle than climbing back up. I'll just show it to you with simple percentages right now. If we take our absolute low of the last week and look at our high, we're up by 28.6%. But let's see what happens if we drop. If we drop down, this is only a 22% loss. So in other words, a 22% loss requires a 28% profit to break even. And these numbers get crazier and crazier. If you lose 50%, you have to double your money. If you lose 75%, you have to quadruple your money. This is no joke, ladies and gents. Losing your money will set you back massively. Let's move on. I decided to close another 5% as we hit plus 71% profit. My stop loss remains in a profit because I actually moved it up. In this post I mentioned I'm raising my stop loss up from break even to 21.3, and that means that right now, even if this market completely shits the bed, I walk away with money. I've already closed away some of my profits, and I close a minimum gain as well if we continue to move. More developments. I don't want to talk about these too much. Let's carry on. Close a further 5% right here in 82 in an 82% profit. These regular updates just getting fired into VIP whenever I'm seeing something. And right here, this is where things got a little bit more interesting for me again. You see, I mentioned that I'm interested in raising my stop loss relatively soon to lock in a higher minimum game. I even wrote down the level 22.8, which would result in a minimum game of 61%, which is very, very strong. I still haven't done this yet, and I mentioned that the uptrend is becoming a little bit more unsustainable now. So again, this is developing, and I want you guys to take note of this because a lot of people are starting to jump on the hype train now. This is where I'm starting to say, just for the first time, things are potentially becoming a little bit unsustainable now. So if we do get a drop, it could come in fast and it could come in sharp. By the way, we're kind of doing that right now, so interesting to see that happening. And just to put this in perspective, if we look at this high down to where we are now, it's taken 5 hours to drop down to drop down by $1,150. And if we take a look at the same price range, look, the last time we were here was over here, and it took us 14 hours to make the same $1,150 move. So 14 hours to go up by $1,150, and now we're dropping by the same amount within 5 hours. So that warning was there in VIP. This is so poetic that it's happening right now. I absolutely love that. That's just perfect. So I was mentioning that if we could get a drop, it could come in fast and sharp. And I also mentioned that it's very important to note, though, that the uptrend is strong right now, and that's something to be expected, considering that I wasn't seeing any more resistance on this chart, pretty much above above $22,000. So even if we stay unsustainable, it kind of makes sense right now. And these are the nuances that you got to be taking into account. So I mentioned that at the end. I'm not doing anything to the stop loss because I want to make sure that I can stay in this trade even if the market ends up back testing some deeper levels. So that was a post where I mentioned about the stop loss and what I wanted to do with it, and there we go. We ended up getting a nice move right here. I just wanted to talk about what happened when we breached $24,000. My position currently stands in a plus 90% profit. My stop loss already moved into profit. Going to continue to watch this. I'm happy if Bitcoin goes up. I'm happy if it draws down to find a little bit of support, ladies and gents. It's all about the game. That's completely fine. Both outcomes would be healthy in my opinion. I'm still targeting 27 to 28. See, now that we're getting higher into the $20,000 range, I want to start talking about those targets and just reminding you guys what I'm looking at, where I would close the remaining amount or just a lot of my position. And this so far was textbook execution. So this has been a really, really healthy trade. I'm super happy with how it's gone. The entry level was perfect. The stop loss placement was very, very good. The profit taking on the way up is good. I've already taken profits up here, so I'm pretty happy, even though we're dropping. I'm very, very happy with how this has gone so far. And the thing is this is all from applying leverage. You see, I was able to see that this is probably going to be an area of support, and I wanted my stop loss to be basically just below this low right here. My idea here, this is why I chose 20.4. I knew that if I'm going to be entering right around over here, I think that we can stay, even if the market ends up triggering my order and then dropping, I think we're good unless we sweep this low, because this is the prior low within this short-term trend. So my stop loss was just $70 lower than that. That's it. That's why I chose that stop loss. And you can see how that's progressed. You can see how that's evolved. Obviously, there was a lot of decision making that went into this, and you have just seen a pretty much full behind the scenes of where we are right now. I mean, let's talk about where we are now, though. Obviously, we're in a little bit of a drop. Obviously, it's coming fast and sharp. Full Flies was saying this in VIP, ladies and gents. This is quite fun for sure. The thing is this whole area should be acting as support. To be honest, it looks right now more like we didn't even get above it. It looks like we're in a resistance range, not in a support range, and it looks like we actually just had a deviation above that resistance range. So this could actually turn pretty bad. I think if we lose this level, to be honest, now that we've lost this level, I don't think there's much supporting Bitcoin until it comes down to the 22.4K area. This is the next significant area of support I'm seeing, and if that fails, I'm seeing 21.7. In either case, I'm totally fine. I've already gotten some of my profits out of the market. I'm going to look to do that a little bit more if things get really bad, but for now, I'm totally happy to just stay in this trade. A deep, sharp pullback is very, very healthy, especially if we end up recovering it, and then we kind of trade sideways. That would be the healthiest thing that the market can do right now. Now I want to let you guys know that I actually made this trade on Bybit. This is the same place that I'm making almost all of my trades, and if you want to check them out, there is a link in the description down below where you can get over $4,000 by signing up to the same exchange that I use. Now I choose exchanges very carefully, as you can tell throughout this video. I'm very, very deliberate and careful with what I do with my money. I feel like it's the only way to be a trader. You know, there's so many easy mistakes you can fall into. There's so many ways that you can lose your money. I am very, very careful, and I've chosen Bybit. So, you know, if you think that it would be good enough for you, if it's good enough for me, then the great news is you are getting over $4,000 by signing up using my link in the description down below. So just check it out down in the description. That's where this trade was made. I'm going to continue to watch this trade as it progresses and keep VIPs updated very, very closely. Hopefully you guys got a really nice view into what's been going on here behind the scenes. It's been very, very fun inside of VIP lately. And if you want to get yourself inside, then you can follow these steps on screen right here, and like I said, it is 50% off right now. So the only way to join is by clicking on the first link in the description down below. That is going to take you into 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗙𝗜, which is our free Telegram channel. That's where we can send you more analysis straight to your phone around the clock, free of charge. At the bottom of any post inside of that Telegram channel, you can click on my name and then click on send message to ask me how to join VIP. The reason we have it like this instead of on a website is because I want you guys to be able to talk to me. I want you guys to be able to ask your questions. If you have a specific question for me, I'm there as well. If I can't respond to you, one of my team members will, so don't worry about the time of day as well. Very, very important note. We, you know, I pride myself on being able to provide 24-hour coverage here. Look at this drop just continuing. Switch it on to the 5 minutes. There's a little bit of strength behind this. Look, some volume coming in as well. Definitely someone trying to dump it right now. Erasing that progress very, very quickly. Very, very quickly, ladies and gents. You know, I mean, again, right here, 14 hours to rise up and not even 5 hours to erase that progress. So if we fall below this low right here at 22.9, which we are about to do, if we fall below this low, we have no more support for the next $600, $600. So I would be looking at a potential steeper drop for the market. Again, hopefully just to capture a bit of support. Obviously, it was extended quite far, and you know, I think what we're seeing here is a lot of people building up their long positions, building up their long positions, building up their long positions, and then eventually, you know, they're being forced to close them now. So, you know, quite standard little swings that tend to happen in these markets when they are leveraged very, very high. I'm not sure which device that is. Oh, okay. So yeah, there you go. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Like I said, it's a different video, not really with the same drama factor that the rest of my videos have, but hopefully you still enjoyed it anyway. You know, to me, this is my favorite type of content to give you guys. I really enjoy producing content like this because it's very high level, and it's stuff that actually helps me out as well. You know, I mean, this is, you know, trading is difficult no matter how experienced you are in the markets. You know, obviously I like to make it as easy for myself as possible, but it's still always going to be a challenge, and evaluating things while you're in it and afterwards is very, very useful. So there's a whole lot of resources waiting for you once you get yourself inside of VIP. You're going to be getting a welcome video along with a bunch of other essentials to be getting yourself started. You can have yourself started today to be trading much safer, much more sustainably over these next weeks and months. I really hope it goes well for you. If you don't want to join, if you can't, whatever the deal is, that's completely fine. I totally respect that. Keep yourself locked to these channels anyway. The first link in the description is free, where you can join my 𝗪𝗪𝗥𝗙𝗚 Telegram channel, and you're still getting more value from myself and my team around the clock, including on this YouTube channel. So on that note, if you have enjoyed this very, very in-depth video, do me a huge favor and just throw up a like on this video, because I don't know if I should make videos like this again in the future. If you think I should, I want to know. So please throw up a like on this YouTube video. Make sure you're subscribed if you haven't done so already. Got a lot more content coming up for you. Even just tomorrow, I'm going to be bringing you some fresh market analysis to see exactly what's been going on with this trend as well, and some more macro analysis coming up as well. So if you're excited for that, you know what to do. One final time, your Bybit offer is still waiting for you in that description. Over $4,000 up for grabs, and I'll see you all in the next one.